Hello, everybody. As you know, Martin and I, we started the Fine Water Academy at the end of 2018. It's a while ago. It was in August. And we thought, it's time to check in with the candidates, what they have done in the meantime. And we had this idea of a couple of weeks ago. And today we have our first candidate here that we graduated a while ago. And we want to check in with you. Martin, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Let's face it, like we had this idea, what you just said, Michael, in 2018, and we both always knew that we wanted to do it for many, many years already, but we never thought how we're gonna do this. We thought as well, okay, let's bring everybody to Los Angeles or to Texas where Michael lives. But then we thought, you know what, with the new technology, there's way better things to do it online, because a lot of people maybe don't have the money or the chance to go to America to get certified. So we thought, why not putting that whole thing online? And we are the first one who's certifying online water sommeliers. And I think we both should be very proud of this, Michael. And what a joyride. Like it's fascinating for me how much I learned and you learned, Michael, I think from our candidates as well. And that is, I think, the beauty about the Fine Water Academy. It's not just that an Austrian and a German guy is sitting there and talking about water. No, we're learning as well. And I think we're achieving something together. That was always the idea. But further notice, so who else is with us here today?
Milin Patel from London, certified water sommelier, water consultant, water during the day, water during the night.
So welcome.
Thank you.
And we have been working with you for a long time. And when you came to the Academy, we were very excited about you bringing not only passion for water to it, but also a profound knowledge of water technology, water analysis. So can you tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you into the Academy?
Yes, of course. So my background is bringing water for the built environment. So you have your municipal source that may enter a building. It could be from manufacturing a Porsche to processing of beverages to hospitals. So what I do is look at that water and make it specific for the requirements. So you would have a requirement for hospital for hygiene, for immunocompromised patients. So the water needs to be of a certain characteristics, certain microbiological chemical requirement. And then from, manufacturing a Porsche that Martin is sitting in right now, to put the paint on a Porsche requires a very, very fine-tuned water. So, I cover from, we do nuclear all the way down to high-end hotels to anywhere water travels in the built environment. That's what I do. Yeah. And it's
so how did you heard about us in the Academy in the beginning? Yeah. What was the reason you wanted to really be a certified water sommelier?
Yeah, of course. So I was sitting in the office, and in the office that I was working at, I had a row of just waters that I would drink, because I was always fascinated from a young age at, different waters. So I was just sitting there and everyone was like, oh, which water are you drinking this week? And I'd like to tell people about what I was drinking. And I was sitting in the office quite late working on a project, and I was looking at the bottles, and I thought, if I could make what I do, because when we talk about water, people are like, hey, this is getting a bit boring. So I was just staring at the bottles and I was like, how can I take these bottles and make it fun? Because everyone's coming up to me and asking me, why do you have all these collection of waters? And I'm explaining, this one's from, say, Austria, this one's from Romania, this one's from Australia. So I started to Google, and then I first come across the Domens Academy in Germany. And I thought, wow, I can't believe what I'm finding. This is pretty cool. So I made contact, and due to my schedule at the time, I could not take 2 weeks out to travel to Germany. As much as I wanted to, it just would not work with the schedule. And then I kept on Googling, and then the Fine Water Academy appeared. And I was like, hold on a minute. And then I was researching, and then I got in contact with you, Michael, and then we exchanged a couple of emails, and before you knew it, I was a student. And that was pretty cool, like the way it was set up. And the beauty of it was I could study during my travels. So some of the studying was at an airport lounge or during my break, or, you know, whenever I could dip in and learn a bit. That's what made it pretty special from my lifestyle and the way I wanted to learn. So yeah, no doubt at some point I will do the Domans course, but I think for what you guys have offered, it's pretty remarkable. And hey, use the tech around you, you know?
Yeah, fantastic. So I'm glad you mentioned the online thing, because as Martin said, that gives us a much, much bigger reach, because people cannot travel to Germany in other places. And you will see in future things, we talk to water sommeliers really all over the world, from Tibet to South Africa to Brazil, right? It's really fascinating. But at the beginning, I think both Martin and I hesitated a little bit, because it's a strange concept to do a sommelier course online, right? People say, oh, how does this work? So were you hesitant at the beginning? What's your feeling about this online thing at the end?
I think the whole online thing, I wasn't hesitant about it, because prior to COVID, we were using this means of communications for meetings, etc. And I thought, you know, these are two professional guys. They're not going to just string something together, you know. And plus, with all the marketing equipment, you know, marketing that you'd put out there and putting things together, I thought, you know, it just worked in the sense of I didn't have to travel to Domans. Maybe the courses may differ slightly, but it fitted what I wanted to do, and it was elevating that bottled water experience and learning about the source, and it helping me relay the message of how important water is and how we interact with it within the built environment. And having that water tech background with the water sommelier, it really worked in harmony for me, and I'm pretty pleased with the outcome, no doubt.
I'm happy that you mentioned this, that it fit better to your schedule. And I think this is the thing what I learned. Like, I was a student back in the days. I didn't like school, and sometimes I didn't understood why I have to go to school at 7 a.m. in the morning. I was more ready to learn at 9 o'clock. So I think that is the big benefit of an online school as well, that you're not been forced to learn something when you're actually not ready.
Yeah.
You for yourself can decide whenever you want to log into the academy, when you feel you're ready to go to the next chapter. And that is, I think, a way better version of learning, because when you want to learn, you learn better.
Yes.
And when you're forced to learn in a 2 or 3 week crash course, then you have to be there. You have to pay attention. Maybe you don't feel right, maybe the second or third day, because something happened personal in your life, and you still have to do it, because obviously it's just a 2 or 3 week course. I think that is the biggest benefit for me as well, that I'm saying when I'm ready to learn and I feel good, I want to learn, I can then log myself into an academy and then actually learn. And not just sitting there like, oh God, I'm so tired because I had a hangover because I didn't have a bottle of Royal Vichy in front of me the last night. But what interests me as well, and I would love to hear this from you, do you feel there's a benefit after you became a certified water sommelier? Is there a benefit in your life, or did your life change slightly due to the fact that you're now a certified water sommelier?
Yeah, of course. So I think things have definitely changed slightly, but it's allowed me to talk about water the way I felt deep inside, and a way for people to listen and make it fun and interactive. You know, sometimes with the type of work that I do, it can go over people's heads. You know, they don't understand that level of water, but then when you're breaking it down with, you know, these natural source waters and describing, you know, the terroir, the source, what makes it so special, that I found individuals really, really honed into and wanted to learn more. And that let me express myself even more. So I think it has changed my audience that I work with. They see that fun side of it, of what could be created with, you know, water on the dinner table, creating special moments with water, water and food. And my family and friends love it, I must say, and they share those experiences with others. So I think the importance of this, my personal opinion, is when I explain this to someone, they will explain it to another 10 people. And that's the beauty of it. And that's what makes me very happy.
Yeah, I think what we've also noticed with other sommeliers, what they tell us, the certification gives them a little bit of authority, right? You have your chest out a little bit more when you tell people that water is not just water, because you have something behind it. You know you're not alone, but you have the power of a group behind you. But what I wanted to ask you, so you're doing you said day and night job, right? So on your day job, you make proper water, the real water for different applications, but you also have a deep passion for natural sourced water, right? And we all know how difficult it is to find those waters. So I found it really interesting, and we congratulate you on your relationship with fine liquids and trying to distribute, to share what you've discovered. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah, of course.
how this came about?
Yeah, you two know Pat ECKERT, I must say, what an awesome individual. I think we're like brothers from another mother. We started talking during lockdown. He liked my media work, I liked his media work, and you know, I was fishing with my son and we made a call, and you know, I said, look, let's make a proper call on Monday, and we haven't looked back since. I think our outlooks on life and with the fine waters that we distribute, create drinking water lifestyles, it has excelled. I speak to him like every single day, and I'm very, very proud to say that becoming a business partner with Pat has been pretty awesome. It's more like a friendship, but hey, we have some real crazy ideas, and it's someone that I can just call, WhatsApp, Meister task, and just put it out there. Any ideas? And what's kind of crazy is that these ideas that we discuss come together pretty nicely. Some we have to delete or we go revisit. But yeah, I thought I would pay tribute to Pat at Fine Liquids also. And I kind of made a list of things. It's pretty extensive, but a list of items that we have done for the category. Some have been done, some we're working on, some are in the pipeline. But it's been an incredible year, despite COVID and all of the negative things. We've managed to really, really put something together positive. And, you know, being a certified water sommelier and having the privilege of being invited to Bled this year has helped, no doubt, 100%. It's been a very, very exciting time. So, you know, Pat and I, would you like to hear? I could just reel off a few bits. Yeah,
Sure.
We got time, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so first of all, we started with WaterAid. It's a huge charity in the UK and globally. So for their dry January, we helped all the candidates that are doing dry January, i.e. only drinking water for January. We created menus for them, and we done a live water tasting just to help them through the month, exploring the temperatures of waters, tap waters, bottled waters for the treat. You know, that went down very well. We've done a number of private water tastings for private clients. A lot of these clients we can't and we don't publicize because it's a very, very private event. But one of them was one of the founders of Zoom. He was in London with a party, and we sent a beautiful range of waters, and they loved it. They loved it to bits. The feedback was, can I invest? Can I do this? Can I do that? I said, yeah, you know, so, and we're still in contact. We created another water menu for our VIP guests at Soho House, Berlin. This was like overnight, creating a menu, getting the waters there. But what happened at this VIP event was we presented the waters, but then the VIP called us and said, would it be okay if we gifted one of the waters to our VIP at Soho House? And that was pretty cool. That was seriously cool. I said, of course you can. And one of the VIPs, they're very, how can I say, they had a picture on Instagram, and it was one of our Virgil Abloh, rest in peace, my man out there. But it was the Evian collection of Virgil Abloh, and she had kept it on her dresser. And she didn't tell us, and we didn't ask. And that there, I thought that was special. You know, that really reminded her. Yay, my man. So yeah, rest in peace, Virgil.
Absolutely. To honor him today, I'm drinking Evian Rainbow Inside. In honor of him.
What a beautiful design. Yeah. So then I started providing water tastings for kids, and this was the real special moment. From what I learned from this was the kids, the taste buds, etc., hadn't been manipulated at all. So the vocabulary, the way they were describing waters was amazing. And then the feedback from the parents, oh my God, you've got my child off the fizzy pop. And as you know, there's no fairy tale of Coca-Cola made in a factory. So being able to discuss these natural waters where kids during COVID were going outside to do exercises, and then I would create a hydration station. And then it was a quick 15 minutes, you know, maybe 6 to 8 waters, and quickly describing these waters and letting the children use their vocabulary of what they tasted. And the feedback from the parents, awesome, you know, and that was special, that I've got the kids thinking about water differently. I did a little project with Watches of Switzerland in Knightsbridge, so it's where the high-end watches. So it was for their clients, the very VIP clients, where they had the private showings of new watches. So I got the opportunity of pairing waters with watches that they were offering. So if it was, say, a deep sea diver's watch, it would be a deep sea water. If it was a watch with diamonds, it would maybe be Selbadi or Hilsey with a diamond shape. It was just playing on that, and the directors really, really liked that concept. It's not an everyday thing. It was just something special for the guests, and majority of these guests do not drink alcohol, so it worked, and it was very nice to launch that. Again, fine liquids with Pat. We're just in the process, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we're opening up London's first water boutique. So it's going to be synergies of natural bottled waters, like we have in the display here, with art. So there's been a lot of the art students from the Royal College of Art haven't had an option to showcase their work due to COVID. So I'm giving gallery space for artists to create water-related artwork within the space. So as soon as you walk in, it's all about the bottled waters and the reference to art. And then we've teamed up with Aquaporin from Denmark. For those that don't drink tap water, we have a taste experience with Aquaporin at the back of the boutique, where they can try tap water and filtered tap water. And that's really to encourage individuals to respect tap water again, and as part of the lifestyle, to use a filter if they feel it's required to drink tap water. Hey, I drink tap water, and we're very lucky that I can. So hopefully in the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, we're just about there decorating and doing the final bits. I had an opportunity to be on Channel 4, daytime TV. I had a call on a Friday. I thought it was one of my friends winding me up. I put the phone down twice, and then they backed it up with an email. And it was a real crappy day. Like I was working, consulting in an HIV clinic in London, and within the clinic they had to have super clean water. And the client wasn't listening, and I sort of walked out thinking, wow, this is serious. And then I had the phone call and genuinely wished that Sunday, travelled up to Leeds, sent a car, and then I hadn't rehearsed anything because I didn't really have any time. And then they were like, right, come down in 10 minutes, we're going live. I said, oh, okay. So I went down, and it wasn't me to rehearse, it was just to stand there and let the cameras, camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and they just said to me, come back in 10 minutes. So yeah, being on live TV was an experience, and you know what? It made me come out of my bubble, and I would love to do more of it. It was a fantastic experience, and the feedback from the producers and the stars of the show were like, wow, because they were a bit dubious about the taste of water. But what I did was I backed it up with the taste of tap water from the south in London to the north. And then we discussed the taste of water, and yeah, I believe the feedback was absolutely fantastic. I've become brand ambassadors for a few of the bottled waters, and I've provided just complimentary video blogs of my opinion of the water, the source, etc. I'll just send those out because I think it's important that we can. We do the monthly Fine Liquids community podcast with some ex-students from Fine Liquids, and these work really, really well with Ruriko, from Japan, Japan's #1 water sommelier. And Michael, if you remember, in Stockholm, we still don't have that language barrier because we have Justin who translates. And I think it's awesome for the Japanese community to also experience these waters, and the feedback from that is really good. So we do that once a month. The timings of it, I could be up at 6 a.m, Justin could be up at 11 p.m, but we make it happen, and we get guests also to come onto the show as well. And I've really, really, really enjoyed these shows. They are absolutely fascinating. I've got waters now in pharmacies in London. So genuinely, where you have the magnesium, calcium tablets, I've got the waters just stacked right next doors. And, you know, people that are in the know, especially the Eastern European community that we have in London, but then also word of mouth, people want to try something different, and that's been pretty exciting. We've discussed the water boutique. At the moment, I am in discussions with a very large cannabis company in creating a pairing menu. They're pretty excited about it. Pat and I had our first non-screen live in the flesh meeting in Amsterdam just after the Aquatech show. Pat drove in with his son as well, so it was just so nice to meet his son. Hopefully in the next sort of month or so, there will be a few bits coming out in regards to that pairing menu that I discussed, and very excited about that. I think the health aspects of cannabis consumption and people wanting to try and increasing the experience of it and the experience of water. We pitched the idea, and they're very interested in that. So we're going to be working on that. So that should be launched shortly. This one's for you, Martin. I call him the world's youngest water sommelier, and he's based in Orange County, California. It's part of the Bubbles podcast. Reach out to him. He is incredible. I think.
Oh, I know him. I know him.
Yeah, reach out to him. Yeah,
no. I talked with him already. We had a good conversation.
Oh, fantastic.
He did the Bubble podcast, so I sent it to him, a love letter, my voice, and said, like, you're doing such a great job. And then I think on the 3rd or 4th episode, I'm on that podcast.
Oh,
so he's
fantastic.
Incredible. It is so great what he's doing, and he's such a cool kid what he's doing with his father, and I think it's amazing.
So yeah, because I've had the privilege to be on a podcast a few times, and every time I leave that podcast smiling, just thinking this young guy and the message that he's sending to his friends and his community, and it's every week. He is consistent. So yeah, big up to the Bubbles podcast there. We've got water tastings, which I created for the Facebook campus in Denmark while I was there consulting. So this really changed people's perceptions because we were dealing with a lot of water at the hyperscale data centers. So we done water tastings within the Facebook office, which was pretty cool. And then the respect that you got, yeah, it was pretty cool. I quite enjoyed that. And at the moment, I am working on a project with one of the hospitals. So I've looked at the borehole water that they have, the aquifer underneath the hospital. And what we're creating is a actual, the natural bore. We're going to use that to be put into 5-litre stainless steel drums, and that will be transported by the porters to the wards to reduce the plastic commoditized water consumption across the hospital. Yes, within the cafes, etc., they will have their bottled waters, but for the patients, for the nurses, for the doctors, and the water is incredibly sweet and nice, and it tastes better than Thames water. So Just working on that project at the moment. Had an opportunity to work with Whole Foods in London, where they gave me just a desk and I took all of their waters off the shelf, and they've got a pretty cool range. But what I did was I paired the waters with the foods, with the cheeses, with the meats that were on offer. And on that day, we sold out of everything. And they were like, wow, did this really happen? And the buzz behind it was pretty cool. And then I'm just working with a chef, Ben Hughes, at the moment. A bit more will come out of that, and he's going to be contributing to the water boutique, where we're going to do like food and water tasting events. And just working on a small little animation that can be played at schools and for children, just in regards to the source of water, etc. So just working on that in the background, but I just wish there was more hours in the day.
It's fascinating, you know, absolutely fascinating. So I love the idea. I like watches, and I love the idea of watch and water pairing. I should have thought about it. So I would like to have your recommendation. What would you pair with a Vacherin overseas? You know, we need to find out.
Yeah, of course. I quite enjoy horology. So if you were to give me a range of watches, then yeah, of course, I'll pair them with the waters, and I'm sure you could pair them as well.
I started thinking about it, but I think I was looking at Martin while you were talking, and the people couldn't see it, and we were going like, wow. So it's so fascinating. You know, when I started this in 2002, you have the feeling you're alone and the whole world is against you. And then at some point you discover Martin, and you want to hug him because you're the only two that are doing it, right? So at least they know it's not one stupid person, you know, they have to say there are two stupid persons.
It's a collective now.
What we have now is absolutely fascinating. What we have now is absolutely fascinating, because we have so many people that have adopted what we have started, and not only taking what we taught them, but adding things, you know, the things we just learned, what you've done, the pharmacy things with the next to the pills, I mean, brilliant small ideas, the cheese and the pairings in Whole Foods.
I think
it's fascinating. And the question is, and why isn't the whole world doing this? Why are so many stupid people out there that still believe water is water? We're doing a good job, but it will take a while.
I would say I'm very fortunate, you know, with my upbringing. It's always been in water since a young age. So for me, it was trying to relay that message in a fun and interactive way, because a lot of the sort of water tastings that we've done, or the hosts, it's that conversation that occurs on the dinner table with these waters of what can I do as an individual to respect water or look at water in a different way. And some of our clients are pretty wealthy and influential, and they've actually made big changes in the way, if they were to donate into charity or even investing into water tech, or just having a different outlook on water. And our aim with packs and fine liquids is to bring this to everybody, you know, from child, woman, man, it doesn't matter about race, creed. It's being able to find a water that will hydrate their imagination. And I think if all of us have that outlook, I think water and the way we interact with it will change, and give it the respect that it deserves.
I think what's interesting as well, and Michael, I piggyback a little bit on this as well, that you're absolutely right. You said like first he was the only crazy one, then there was a second crazy one. You feel a little bit more comfortable when there's two crazy ones. And now we have 300, 400, 500, suddenly 200, 500,000 people who are actually enjoying this. And the thing is that still a lot of people thinking it's just H2O. It's just water. And it's always been said, oh, it's just water. And I'm always saying water is not just water. And I think that is the biggest takeaway what I have today from our little conference call here. There's so much more what a water sommelier can do. It's not just about a guy who sits in the restaurant, creates a water menu and drinks fancy bottled water. That's absolutely not what it is. Like, for example, I just been one of the people who created the new Sky vodka. Like, does people know this? No, but I helped them to come up with the idea of the minimal impact of a vodka. As a water sommelier, you would always think like, okay, so you're actually doing something else. You think absolutely, because water has an impact on everything else, what we're doing in our life. And you just said it, I'm sitting in my Porsche. Yeah, the color of my Porsche it's a matte white. Yeah, there's a water intake to it to make it that color.
That's
So
right.
this is exactly what I love through this conversation right now. There's so much more, and water touches our souls and our human beings and our, like, everything what lives on this on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But somehow we always thinking, we don't need to talk about this. And it's mind-blowing. I just discovered TikTok for myself. I never thought I need to go on TikTok. I'm on TikTok now, and it looks like this week will be that TikTok will be my biggest social media suddenly outlet. I don't have any more followers than on TikTok. Right now, Instagram and TikTok is the same amount, but it will happen. I think in the end of this week, TikTok will be my strongest social media account. What I never thought. What's great about this is that a lot of young people are listening to TikTok. And I just did a video on YouTube with 2 YouTube stars. And when I see the comments, because most of the time the comments are like, by social media, you never know. When you're a water sommelier, it can be always very interesting, the comments. But that video on YouTube has 350,000 views in the first 5 days. It has over 2,000 comments. And 98% of these comments are extremely positive. Like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love water as well. I totally understand why water has taste. There's so much to discover in water. And that really helps me as well to say, wait a minute, the younger generations are totally into water. They're totally understanding this because they don't drink so much alcohol anymore. So they still want to discover for themselves something else. They love the idea of water, so that there's suddenly I can open them another horizon to water. That is for me, they're mind blowing. And I think we are just in the beginning of something really, really big. That is where I stand right now.
I would totally agree with you, Martin. And I think, Michael, I think one of our first meetings, you had said to me, that feeling that you get when you're looking someone in the eye and you've changed their perception of water, that there is gold. You know, I don't ask for anything in return, but once you've confidently relayed something special about water and it clicks for that individual, you know, it could be a kid, it could be a mother, it could be a 90-year-old man that's lived on this planet for 90 years, and then you've explained water. And I think Pat ECKERT, he had done, when we were in Amsterdam, he was doing a private water tasting. So he quickly went off to his hotel room, and it was for, I think it was, he must have been about 85 years old. And that gentleman turned around and said, this is the best birthday present, because we do these water tastings as birthday presents, and turned around and said, I've been on this planet for this long, and it's just clicked how special water is. And that there, when Pat come down to say, hey, it went really well, and this is what they said, I thought, Pat, wow, you've done a real special thing there. And
it's absolutely. And I think both Martin and I have the same feeling. And it's the feeling that probably a performer has. You know, I'm not a singer, but they stand on stage and they communicate with the audience, and you walk off the stage and you have a high. And I have the same thing if I do a virtual water tasting where I'm standing in front of 100 people in China. And even through my translator, you know, you're so used to seeing it live if you speak English or German. But then in China, you see that in their eyes, this 15, 20 seconds later. And you can really pinpoint the moment when the translator says it, and you know, wow, that something changed in the people, and it's fascinating. That's why we're doing it.
I'm so with you. It's like touching people, and I just received one of the biggest compliments I ever received as a water sommelier on this one of these videos. And the person said on the video as a comment, Martin is like a love letter to water, and I didn't know that I needed one. And that was for me like, what a beautiful comment. And then like every day, I talked to my parents yesterday, and I said, you know what, because my birthday was last week, and I called my parents up and said, thank you so much for being on this planet, and you made that happen, that I can be alive now, and that I can share my love to water with others. And that helped me grow as well, to see other people are fascinating by water suddenly when we are talking to them as water sommeliers. And what else do we want on this planet? That's the biggest thing you can actually
Yeah.
do to make others more happy. That's
Yeah.
all what it takes. Spread
Yeah.
more love on this planet.
Majority of the work I do, I just do it off my own back. I do not, if they say, oh, can I pay you? I say, well, pay into a charity, or let me just come and demonstrate some waters. Like majority of the time, it is, if we're doing it for kids, etc. They'll be like, oh, can we pay you? And I'm like, no, donate. And even the guy with Zoom, when he had his guests, they were like, how much? And I said, please donate into Viva Con Agua or WaterAid, which they did. And yeah, I think we're in a very special place, and being able to relay this message, and I think just continue doing it and have fun while you're doing it. That's all I can say, and that's what's happened. That's exactly what's happened. It's been fun.
Absolutely, it's fun. I think we still have fun, and we have the passion. But also enjoying. What I'm taking away from here is really your commitment, not only for what in the epicurean sense, but also expanding it into other things. I think that's a really important one. And the other one is that you're building a community, that we are building together. We're building a global community, right? And it's really a truly global community. The podcasts you do, the international ones, and so many water sommeliers. The other day, I was with a client, and there was a question about a special Brazilian water, and I just put out my Skype, quickly ask a water sommelier that we have trained in Brazil, and within 5 minutes, I had a very highly specific answer to a particular problem. And I think that's really cool that we have now this global resources we can tap into. And
it's in the DNA.
We're changing the world here, also in a sense that if really, and Martin is also very strong, stepping on wrong messages, right? Sometimes we're getting people that try to put out this, this is stupid or something. And suddenly it's not one person that steps on the message. You have a global audience that can step on that message from every country, from Brazil to South Africa to London and from the US. And I think that makes us also very important on kind of controlling our space and not like letting stupid messages emerge.
Yeah, I'd say like the stupid messages, it's something that I've not really received. I may have received one or two and you just, hey, ignore it. But majority of messages have been extremely positive and keep it up. We like what you're doing. And the favorite one is, you've taught me something new. And that's pretty cool.
And I agree, we're getting less and less of the stupid messages, but I think especially Martin, because he is really out there with some of his names. I think he still gets his fair share of messages.
But I have to say, for me, these are opportunities. These are opportunities for me when people saying, I did a post about the Hoover Dam on my TikTok channel, how devastating the drought impacts California right now. It's devastating. Let's face this. And some comments are, hey, you stupid person, 2/3 of the world is water. And then, but that just 0.3% of the 2/3 is actually accessible for humans to drink. And then obviously then they're right away like, oops. So these are for me opportunities, not just to brush them off me and say like, okay, they don't know better. For me, it's more like, they just don't know better because they think it's all the same, or they think there is nothing to discover. And my job is to change that. And that is fun. I like that. So I don't have any problems with crazy messages sometimes. I think they're fun.
Yeah. And like you say, it's that opportunity to take that step back and give them facts, figures, and make them smile.
Yeah. And obviously sometimes, look, I'm a happy camper. I can make fun of myself, and I'm wearing sometimes shirts who have like a no color kind of like here. And several people on TikTok said he looks like the new villain of a James Bond movie. So I said, yes, yeah, absolutely. I'm Dr. Hydrate. This was my comment to that particular comment, and everybody was laughing about it. So that's the reason, like, I don't have any problems. When people making fun of me, trust me, I will smile and make fun of them, or I think I will agree even. I think you're right. That's hilarious. I don't
That's
have
right.
any issues with that.
Yeah, but I think we've really changed the landscape. If you think about maybe even 10 years ago, there was Perrier, there was Evian, and they were considered water, and all the other brands were not talked about. And now if you go out on social media, many of the premium brands that we are promoting are on the same level as the Evians. And many people look down on the San Pellegrinos and the Panna for their pervasiveness, right? So I think sometimes we overlook it, but we have achieved a lot in the last 10 years. And because of you guys, like you, Milin, and the other water sommeliers, I think our growth will be exponential. It's not going to be flat like this. And we can already see it, right, Martin? We see the curve going up and up and up and up. So things are changing, exactly as you said. We see it everywhere. Things are changing, not only in restaurants, but also in where water is used and how is water thought about.
That's right. And I think for the work Pat and I are doing, launching this water boutique in central London, I call it like the litmus test, in the sense of taking our guests and visitors to the boutique on this journey of discovery of these waters. And as you say, Michael, these waters are going to be treated like wines. The backstories, what's so special about each water. And then with the artwork, with reference into water, and then the aquaporin, we hope by doing this, we can create a drinking water lifestyle. So people have those options, maybe drop the fizzy pop, and maybe have a little shot of Roy in the morning, or Donat MG, or, whatever tickles their taste buds in the morning. For me, it's Mushinyanka, no doubt. So, it's going to be interesting. It's taken some time, a lot of nights. I was there on the weekends, decorating, painting, getting things ready. So if you're in London, please be our guest, please. It would be an honor to have you there. So stay tuned. The grand opening, it's happening. I'm super excited about it. It's taken a little time to put together, a lot of red tape, would you believe? But we kept on persevering through that red tape, cutting through, and very, very excited about this. And we've created, with all the brands, a very, very nice selection of waters for all palates. And I think we may have in the region of about 28 brands, and with a few more coming on board as well. So, and we're engaged with Aquaporin as well, to respect that tap water. And they're very excited also about this sort of concept store that's occurring, and hopefully it'll be a permanent feature. That's my dream. That's what I really wanted to do, is just that guy that has bridged water tech and natural water, and give people that understanding of what's what. And with the work Martin does with processed waters, we don't have in the UK that huge variety. And I've lived in the States, and I know how bad it is with uneducation and the marketing hype, the marketing BS, and it's sickening that people are getting fooled into buying these waters with no actual benefit. It's profit, it's polluting the planet. And if I do see smart water, there's a lot of people that have put off drinking it, trust me.
Me too.
On a daily.
I'm always saying,
worried.
Sorry,
I was saying I'm worried. I'm worried about Martin, because he's really out there with smart water, and I always tell him, look out for the smart water truck if you're driving.
Yeah, the hitmen.
They have a picture of you in the truck, right? And they get a bonus if they hit your Porsche.
I received a comment on Twitter, and there was a guy saying, when I would be when I would be management in smart water, I would hate Martin, but I'm not, so go Martin. So there was a nice comment on Twitter, and this is, for me, again, this is exactly what I want. I want to call out big corporations who's selling nothing else than a highly processed beverage, building a marketing hype around it, but don't care about actually the water, what they're serving.
Yeah.
It's
So,
just they're selling a container. That's all what they're selling. It's a container company, not a water company.
just to take it back a bit with these municipal sourced waters, I'm writing an article at the moment about water usage in data centers. So as you're aware, data centers process this call, TikTok videos, everything else, and the amount of water that's used to keep servers cool. And majority of data centers will use municipal sourced water, which has had a huge amount of energy, testing, treatment to make it potable for drinking. Okay, and for smart water and the other bad cats out there, we're not going to name names. I'll leave that for Martin tomorrow morning. You know, it's crazy that they are allowed to do this. I think it's criminal that you are taking water that's fit for consumption, human consumption, which goes through a huge amount of tests. Yes, it may have a little bit of chlorine in it, but if we didn't, you know, we'll have cholera epidemics, etc. That there with the smart waters, the Britas, the Essentia, and the Dasanis, and hey, America's full of it, is absolutely disgusting to me, because that there puts pressure on people receiving treated water. And at the water treatment works, they can only do a set volume of water. So if they're bypassing that already treated water to strip it again, that's a huge amount of energy, and then add some crazy minerals that Mother Nature hasn't influenced. It's criminals, absolutely criminals. So
yeah,
I'm very lucky we do not have this issue in the UK, because otherwise I'd be Martin in London, naming and shaming.
yeah. But I love to say, like, look, and there is a big difference, between America and London. Look, your shirt says water is life, and my shirt's super dry. So obviously.
I need to get a shirt. I need to get a shirt. I don't know what's in between the two, but I'll need to figure something out that makes sense.
I really do.
But I was just reminded of I just finished reading a book about the food system, the worldwide food system, and especially in America. And so I'm absolutely with Martin about the processed tap water, but at least we can agree upon that if you drink the processed tap water, it's not bad for you. But if you compare this to the food industry, you know, the McDonald's and the highly processed food, what they're selling you, because that actually makes you sick, right? At least the processed water is neutral, so to speak. That's my silver lining of the conversation. So we should still not do it, especially for the energy reasons, right? For the stupidity of taking bottled water home that comes from your tap, but at least it doesn't make you sick. But that's a totally different story. If we move to the food system, you know.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys.
No, but this is great. So I think what a great conversation, Milin. Congratulations, all your success and all the ideas. And I know Pat very well as well. What a great gentleman. What a great guy.
Yeah.
He has a lot of ideas. Hopefully I can meet him, because I'm gonna be in Hamburg and Berlin and Germany in 2 weeks. And yes, I will be actually in London for 2 hours, because I have my flyover in London and Heathrow. And right now with the Corona situations all around the world, I cannot even go outside, because then I have to quarantine myself.
Yes.
So I'm just staying there for 2 hours by myself, drinking a nice bottle of bridge water, obviously, because this is like the third thing I'm gonna do.
If you are landing at Terminal 5, Fortune and Masons, they have Hilden.
I have Hilden here. I want something else.
Yeah, they've got a few. But the go-to when I'm at Terminal 5 is Fortune and Masons, Hilden. They stopped doing Ferrarelli as well at the one of the cafes upstairs, and Gordon Ramsay is La Source from Wales, which is pretty nice.
Okay, that's nice. That's a nice one. I like La Source. Yeah, that's a great one. Farewell is amazing in my opinion. What a great tiny bubbles.
Yeah.
I love Hilden as well. Hilden is such a great classic water. I like the medium or the gently sparkling.
Yes.
And the still one. So again, we could talk hours over hours, we three, about now the taste abilities of water. But I think you gave us a beautiful example of what a water sommelier can do when you want to do it.
Yeah.
It's not just, and that is, I think, the most important thing as well, because Mike and myself are receiving a lot of emails. So when I'm a certified water sommelier, what does that mean for my career? This can mean everything, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's not just that we bring in you everything to you. You still be the person who has to do it. Yeah. That is, I think, the takeaway.
And I think Pat and I put together these menus here as well. And these are interchangeable as well. So we'll be launching these. I don't know if you can see it there, but we've got a lot more 10.
Oh, very well.
Yeah. So really pleased with the outcome of these water menus. And what's cool about it is that we can chop and change. And what we're doing is doing them on QR codes now as well. So people can just zap them on the phone and it's there. And then instead of sort of printed out physical paper, it's always nice, the feel of it, but we're trying to sort of keep our. I've got a Christmas fair on Sunday at my child's school, so I've got a huge range of waters that we're taking down. Hopefully COVID doesn't put a stop to it, but it's for all the kids and the parents.
That's great.
But what I did for the Christmas dinner table was Thailand with the red and blue bottle, that cobalt blue, to have those for the Christmas table. So that was the sort
beautiful
of we did. Yeah.
Fantastic. So please make some postings and we can forward it. You know, we'd love to see it. We hope we can at least virtually participate when you open your water store. I think having a store where you can tactile touch the bottles, I think is a really good idea, because that's a big selling point, is actually touching the water. I think it's fantastic. And we would really like to thank you for taking the course and really helping us push the category forward. I think that's what you have done here. And we congratulate you. And maybe we'll check in with you next year. And who knows what you have done by next year, if this is what you've done in the last one.
I'm sure we won't check in by next year. I'm sure we'll check in a few times before then, no doubt.
I think so too.
Yeah, but again, like, you know, to the audience out there, I think what Michael Mascha and Martin Riese have put together over the years with the Fine Water Academy, yes, it's an academy, but what it really is a community. And, you know, we are very fortunate to meet other like-minded people that want to learn more about water and share the joys, the beauty of water. And it is definitely a go-to academy if you feel that it fits your lifestyle. Learning online, which we've all become accustomed to. And guess what? It works. And this was before COVID.
No, thanks again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So to the audience, this isn't something that was just put together for COVID. This was prior to COVID, and it's a pretty slick platform. And you know, the feedback, these guys aren't easy, all right? They're not easy with the assignment. So it's not just a tick box exercise, this academy. So yeah, thank you. And yeah, I hopefully, you know, had the opportunity to meet Michael and Bled. And hey, what fantastic memories. That was incredible, absolutely incredible. The Fine Water Summit, and hopefully to meet you as well, Martin.
Come to the sword, her string life, find satisfaction. Yeah, that's right. Go with the flow, enter the stage. Hello, it's showtime.